It's day 3 of conference. We're on to film 6 of our series, and it's nice to be in work, but I'm starting to feel a bit peaky. There are a lot of things here that can really start to corrode your soul. Massed ranks of trainee spads, useless merch, pop-up branches of Tesco's, media circus, bad food, too much coffee, the complete absence of natural light,
building new schools,
endless speeches. And of course, today's big speech is by Ed Miliband, which everyone here is temporarily going to go bananas about. It's a good time for us to be elsewhere. We're going in search of blue suburban skies and the kind of place where the next election is actually going to be decided.
Labour leader Ed Miliband is preparing to address his party's conference in Liverpool this afternoon. He's due to set out his vision of a country where responsible grafters are rewarded and call for an end to a fast buck culture.
We're going under the River Mersey to the constituency of Wirral West, won by Labour in 1997, taken back by the Tories last time, and a seat Labour's going to have to win if it's to return to government. It's the kind of place we're going to find the suburban hard grafters that Ed Miliband's aiming his speech at.
We have to tolerate the wealthiest taking what they can. And what's happened? Your living standards have been squeezed, and we've seen runaway rewards at the top.
Well, I've just had to go bankrupt.
Have you?
Yeah.
What were you doing?
I started out as working for somebody, then I was going as a locksmith, but I just couldn't afford it. That's all. It's just you just cannot afford to make enough money. And what gets me is people say the average wage is £37,000 to £37,000. There's no chance. People are earning £12,000 and £15,000
We haven't got any jobs here, have we? The situation, the way the country's at the moment.
Jobs are terrible. I applied for a cleaning job, 6 hours, and 70 people went for it. I mean, that's a poxy 6-hour job on minimum wage.
Yeah. What about bankers drawing, £20 million bonuses?
It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous when you've got people who are suffering and they're getting 20 million. What can you do with 20 million? You don't need that much to survive. You just need enough to there's got to be rich people and there's going to be poor people. But you don't need such a huge gap between rich and poor.
Labour Party's half an hour over there. They desperately want your votes. They've got to get back to power.
Raise the minimum wage.
Right.
Yeah, for starters. So I can have 2 jobs instead of 3.
What words would you use to describe the sort of society you want to live in?
Fair. Firm but fair. That's what it should be. Firm but fair.
Sort of society you want to live in?
I don't know. I despair. Yeah, I despair. I mean, I've got no children, and I would never have them.
You want to bring up kids in this society, do you?
Yeah.
You know,
there's no jobs.
We came out of the conference to cheer ourselves
I know.
up.
Those are Britain's values. Reward linked to effort. Something for something.
He's been talking about the values of ordinary British people. What do you think they are?
Respect for each other and the communities we live in. Fairness, I suppose. Justice.
On the whole, you think we're sort of decent, considerate lot, really?
I think it's waning. Yeah, I think we try, but I think society as a whole the common decency doesn't seem to be there. That, with all the rioting and stuff, I don't think you'd have ever got that years ago.
So there's a problem with sort of greed, smash and grab.
That goes back to the 70s.
What went wrong?
Don't keep up with the Joneses. Be the Joneses. That's where it all started.
Who do you blame?
Margaret Thatcher and her crowd.
I don't think we have a class-based society now. It's more of a people who work and people who don't.
They're having a go at the bankers and they're having a go at, Rupert Murdoch, rioters and all that. But they also always say too many people cheating the benefit system, got to get them back to work, too many lazy people swinging the lead.
And I'm classed as one of those.
How do you feel about that?
And that goes against the grain, because it's not true. I feel insulted about it, to be quite honest, and I feel degraded, if you like. It gets you worried, and it's something I can do without, is stress.
Worried about what?
Am I going to get a knock on the door going, by the way, you're back to work now?
If you put on the 6 o'clock news tonight and there's Ed Miliband talking about some people with the wrong values and a take what you can culture and the fact we've got to act on it and all that, I mean, will that sort of get your attention to any extent?
It
Or are you
would,
so
but-
cynical about politicians that it all just blurs into
It
one
would,
big noise?
but I'd be waiting to see what's done about it. Politicians are all the same, and the country just seems to be going downhill no matter who's in power.
I wouldn't trust one of them.
Even little Ed Miliband
Not one of them.
telling you he really
Not
means it?
one of
He's
them.
the guy taking on the vested
Yeah, great,
interests. and
wonderful.
All of that.
Do you want to know something else?
Go on.
I haven't voted for over 30 years and I've got no interest
Have
in
you not?
voting.
Creating wealth and keeping jobs in this country. The vast majority of our businesses, they have the right values and do the right thing.
How's trade?
Up and down.
Is it?
Very, very up and down. It has been since 2008, to be honest with you. You know, you just don't really know whether you're going to have a good day, bad day, or a horrendous day.
You hear all those stories about banks not really helping small business
Well,
at the
they're
minute.
not. They're not. I, for instance, wanted to put chip and pin in the shop. You know, I had the idea, but the money they want to actually put the machine in, and then there's a charge on it every month, and that doesn't save you any money.
We've got 3 businesses and we don't have a bank loan on either one of them.
Right, but you'd like to if at all possible.
Absolutely, yeah. We have a unit here which is 400 square metres. We're renovating it piecemeal, bit by bit. If we could renovate this whole building within the next 6 months, we could move all our businesses under one roof.
Right.
But there is no credit facility really.
What could politicians do to help you?
Politicians. I've got absolutely no idea. I mean, well, I don't worry too much about what's going on in the outside world. I worry about what's going on right here at the moment. I wouldn't say I've got like apathy when it comes to it. I do vote, but unless someone like Vince Cable is going to go and punch someone in the face, I don't know what's going to happen really.
Did you vote the last election?
I didn't actually, you know, to be honest with you. I didn't. I was so underwhelmed by everything I heard. I'm sure you probably hear this all the time. I mean, I couldn't vote Conservative, and I couldn't vote Labour after I think they basically after all the money they've been wasting in the last few years. So I found there was no option, to be honest with you.
What do you think the Labour Party stands for?
I was always thought it was stood for, you know, the normal person who didn't have too much money, but you know wasn't a top earner. I always thought it stood for those people and, you know, penalise the rich sort of thing, and that's, you know, sort of what I don't think it, I think they were the Conservatives in disguise.
It tells you a lot about the state of modern Britain. Even in the supposedly sleepy suburbs, people are angry and disaffected, and they feel that fundamental things are going wrong with the way that society's run. Even a successful entrepreneur feels he's being let down by big institutions. Fair play to Ed Miliband. The speech he made today reflected those themes, but the problem is nobody here seems to be listening. We've been walking around here all day talking to people, and I haven't heard once any expression of faith in politics, or more specifically, the Labour Party. Do you know what the Labour Party stands for?
Evil.
Their shit.
Well, it was originally for the working man.
Who do you think they represent now?